can really hear me now. Can you hear me now? Janice. Hello? Janice.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on. Oh, and so can the audience. All right. All right, this is what I took.
What does that mean?
You up live, girl. I mean, I don't want to. I invested in equipment.
What happened last time?
Well, I don't know what happened last time. I thought you just dropped off. I don't know. Well, probably the FBI. I don't know.
Okay. All right, there we go. You gave me my answer. Thanks.
All right. So, but for those that's out there, I'd like to welcome you to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. We are now live, and as you can hear, Sister Janice is in the back, in the background. Well, actually, she's in the foreground because now we are able to do our calls live. So when you call in, you're live. Now, for those people that might be scared to call in because actually you don't need to call in now. I mean, well, I would love for you to call in, but now you don't have to call in to get the wisdom. I did the investment. I did the investment piece. Now I got the equipment where I can get both calls. I get the calls all at one time, right? So now what I need to do, I need to turn it down a little bit. Janice, I want to do a level check on you. Can you say something for me real quick?
You're doing a level check on me right now. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. You got that?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. The crowd got you as well. I want to make sure that everybody can hear you. This is my first time, so hopefully I don't mess up. But I need to do my commercial because the way we fund some of the stuff that we're doing at this point in time is through Gye-Nyame Journey Energy, which is an agent of Ambit Energy. So bear with me.
The word is spreading. More and more people are switching to Ambit Energy.
Well, one of my neighbors switched, and then I switched. Now the whole neighborhood has Ambit.
Who doesn't want to save money?
The word is spreading. Switching to Ambit Energy is rewarding in more ways than one.
I signed up and got a travel reward. That's nice.
Oh, I get to save on energy and on travel?
There's a cruise for two out there just a few thousand kilowatts away. I can almost smell the sunscreen.
The word is spreading. Ambit Energy even lets you earn free energy.
When I get 15 friends to switch, I get free energy. I have 15 friends. At least I think I do.
Hey, I'd be telling people to switch to Ambit anyway.
If you'd like to switch to Ambit Energy, listen to the following contact information closely. Then spread the word.
All right, as you heard, we are with Ambit, and we need you to spread the word. Now, what we are able to offer, we are able to offer you an energy choice in this in all deregulated areas. In Columbus, Ohio, we have electricity, and now we also have gas. We are able to save you a significant amount of money, as well as allow you to spend your money in a way that a portion of the money is coming back to something that helps the community. Now, not only that, we save you money. You get to donate towards something that's good for the community. Then on top of that, every time you pay your bill, you get travel points. I mean, I don't know how to beat this deal. I really don't, right? When you pay your money, because this is what's crazy. You're paying these bills anyway. You pay AEP if you're in Columbus. You pay Columbia Gas. Anyway, only thing I'm saying is, why should you benefit, or your community benefit, or one of your cousins benefit from the business opportunity? So with that, I'm done. For those that are interested in helping us out, hit me up at Gye-Nyame Journey dot energy526.com, or you can like our page on Facebook, Gye-Nyame Journey Energy, or is that Gye-Nyame Facebook facebook.com/GNJ Energy. Alright? Or you can just hit me up at HATIM, HA2TIM at GyeNyameJourney.com. Now it's time to get into the show. So tonight, joined by Sister Janice. I'm expecting Brother Devin to pop in, and hopefully we get somebody else. Now I want to apologize to everybody because everything is sounding cut and screwed. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's sounding, everything is moving in slow motion. I'm trying to make sure I got the volume up high enough so we can get Sister Janice. Right now we're listening to Ancestor Flow, the undercut music, because this is my freestyle. This is the freestyle. This is how we do it. So Ancestor Flow by Mr. Deity. We're about to get into these proverbs. Miss Janice, do you have an announcement or anything that you want to share with the people before we get down and dirty?
Just continue to keep the people of Flint in your thoughts and prayers.
Cool. So remember the people of Flint. We need to remember the people of Flint. That's her one request. We're going to honor that request. Now, I want you to listen closely because the wisdom is about to start dropping. We got some good proverbs for you this week. So, without any further ado, I bring you from Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook Travel Quotes, compilation of quotes and proverbs. We have day 85. I've done this over 85 times. Janice, you have joined me at least 20 of those, I think. So we'll start with number 1. There is nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in life, devoid of breath. My fault, I read that wrong. There's nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breath. Next, that was Martin Luther King Jr., by the way. Next, not engaging in ignorance is wisdom. That's the Bodhidharma. Last but not least, do not despise a gift, no matter how small it is. And that's from Lesotho. Lesotho, South Africa.
Oh, Lesotho, I was there.
You say you was there?
Yes, I was there. It's from Lesotho?
Yes.
That's Southern Africa. Yes, I've been there.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
So you know I'm going to do it as usual. And this time I am not going to say a word. Pick a number from 1 to 3, and that'll be the number we will talk about.
I want to talk number 3.
She want to start with number 3. And this is the one. Now, how do you pronounce that? Lesotho?
Yes,
Okay.
Lesotho.
Do not despise a gift, no matter how small it is. You wanna go in on that one, or you want me to go in first?
Well, I think that the whole concept of gift is what is most important to reflect on in that particular proverb, because I think that people that suffer have a skewed concept of what a gift is. That those who spend a lot of their time in want think that gifts are material, when in fact real gifts are things that you don't hold in your hand, you can't neglect because you haven't taken care. Real gifts are those things that transcend the moment. Real gifts are things that are relevant in a moment and after that moment and after that moment and after that moment. And so I think that people who suffer and struggle really have to think about what they perceive as a gift. And I think that people outside of the community of people that struggle need to spend some time thinking about how gifting is very, very relative. That when you are of immense means and you buy a gift, it's very different from what a person who doesn't even have their basic essentials would consider a gift.
Or
the people in Flint today would consider clean water a gift, even though it's a human right. In terms of their current situation, they're being blessed by water. Isn't that sad? They're being blessed by water.
Well, considering we're supposed to be a modern country with a modern economy, you're right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? In other
That's
countries
right.
where you wouldn't expect, pipes running water into the house. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be, our people in America shouldn't have to look at water in that the fashion that the people in Flint are looking at water. Now,
That's right.
The thing I want to hit on, because you brought focus on the aspect of a gift and it not being material, and I think part of being oppressed, because we always got to bring it back to our people, because that's one of the major reasons I put the book together. I put the book together for all people, but mainly my people, reflecting on the idea of a gift. And I liked how you talked about the idea of a gift being skewed, because of people that are oppressed.
That's right.
Don't recognize the other side of the gift as you talked about.
That's right.
We only recognize that material piece, right? People giving us their time. We don't see that necessarily as a gift. People giving of prayers. We don't see that necessarily as a gift.
That's right.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
People struggling with us. We don't see that as a gift. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? When in fact those things are some of the most powerful gifts and some of the most life-changing gifts that we could ever get. You know what I'm saying? And I think we really need to look at that, because being oppressed, I'm pushed to basic survival. I'm pushed to looking at the things that, in a sense, are human rights, as you said, like water and food. Because I'm looking for these material things to keep this material body going, I can't recognize the spiritual aspects. I can't get philosophical and talk with you about the mental gifts that you're giving me, or even in many cases the emotional gifts that you're giving me. You know what I'm saying? Because my sight has been, my perception is up under somebody else's control. So I'm taught to only value the material. But the one piece that I want to focus on is the aspect. Let me read it one more time, because just for somebody that might have just popped on. Do not despise a gift, no matter how small it is. You know what I'm saying? For me, this brings up an important principle that I think is missing in many in many areas and communities and cities. The idea of gratitude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we, especially coming up in the West, we have been taught to have a measuring stick in our pockets, in our hearts, and in our mind. We have a measuring stick on all, as I call them, all 5 levels of life. I am ESP. We have a measuring stick for intuition, a measuring stick for mental, we have a measuring stick for emotional, we have a measuring stick for spiritual, and we have a measuring stick for physical. And in all this measuring, we never get to practice the one quality that I think will benefit not only us but our children. The idea of being grateful. We're so busy measuring things, you know what I'm saying, that something small is often overlooked. When we and you know what I'm saying, we don't realize that many of the great things in the world have started off very small. You know, so I mean, you know, so I want to make sure. I just want to make sure that from that angle that we start looking at some of what's practicing or being in a mind state to practice some gratitude. You know what I'm saying?
And can I add that
yes,
I think that when people, I think that when people struggle, the concept of gifts is skewed. For instance, if you're living a life where you experience a great deal of emotional pain, sometimes someone simply, for example, saying, can I fix you a hamburger for dinner? Sometimes somebody saying something real simple can make all the difference in the world. And so everything, people really need to understand that when you talk about gifts, when you talk about blessings, when you talk about things like those gifts and blessings, it's very, very relative. A man who doesn't miss a meal conceptualizes a gift very differently from a man who has no home and doesn't know where his next meal is coming from.
Word.
And so depending upon where you are situated really dictates for you what the definition of a gift or a blessing is.
That's right. That's right. And like I said, many of us miss it. See, because it's the universe often rewards us.
That's right.
In ways that we can't perceive.
Right.
Many blessings start off appearing to be curses.
That's Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Many great things that are about to manifest in our life start off small, and by us cultivating the ability to show gratitude, by us cultivating the ability to start recognizing gifts in
right.
people and from people, we develop the ability, or maybe what some people might call a spiritual eye, to see.
That's right.
The things that are coming to us. Because I mean, how many blessings or how many gifts have you missed in your life just because you couldn't recognize that that's what it was?
Right. You were so involved in thinking about what you was thinking about that you missed the fact that moments were passing where you were literally blessed.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us, we go through that. A lot of us, we get caught up in the foolishness of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Or better yet, in the throes of oppression. Because
that's right.
When people are oppressed and are forced to are forced into a corner of survival. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a hungry man's idea of a gift is different than somebody who eat regularly on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? We just was joined by somebody. I want to welcome them on the call. For anybody else that's out there that want to join us, hit us up at 614-556-4535. Somebody from Illinois. Welcome.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man?
This Brother Jonathan. What's up, Brother Jonathan?
Yeah, what's up, man? You know, just called in and, just been busy, so I finally got a chance to kind of get on board what you was been doing and checking in, man. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we sitting up here talking about one of the Proverbs. We're about to move on to the next one unless Sister Janice got some more on it.
No, go ahead. You can go to the next one.
All right, so you said number 3. So I'm going to jump to number 1.
Okay, read it for me, please.
You ready? Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, there's nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breath. Once again, there's nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breath.
Devoid of breath?
Yes. B-R-E-A-A-D-T-H.
Yeah, dig it. Wow. Wow.
So that's like depth, right?
Yeah.
So somebody caught up in a long life, but there is no deepness to it. You know, for me, that sounds like a horrible existence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a tragic waste. You know what I'm saying? That sound like an old fool. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that had a long life, but only survived, only was able to live because of modern times and modern conveniences. You know, do you realize that we are living in a time now where it is, we are living in the only time in human history where fools can actually become old people?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is the only time in history where fools can actually become old people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we got people living extreme, and we're extending life as we speak. I mean, I just did because as you notice, I cut out the news. So I started doing a news program called An Empire of Our Own. And
oh, I missed that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's on the timeline, and basically I post up all of the stories because you know I actually was trying to keep these shows short. You know what I'm saying? And I said we need a news show. You know what I'm saying? I needed a news show, so I named it after a book called An Empire of Our Own. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I want to be able to discuss the news, invite people on it. You call in. I don't have a regular time for it now. But the thing that they was talking about today, or one of the news pieces that I got today was that they are making sperm in laboratories.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of creeped out by that. And I'm bringing that up to talk about, one, how they're making it possible for life to come out of places that you never thought that they would, but they also in laboratories are figuring out how to extend life. And we got people that are living long lives without reaching any level of death.
Right.
They haven't received any insight from their living. They're just occupying a place, and they could pass absolutely nothing on to future generations, which for a people of African descent is a blasphemy. For somebody, I mean, really, old fools are detested in African cultures.
Right. So the proverb that we're what we're talking about makes me think about, I don't know who said it, but never get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Mm. I think that relates directly to the quote, because you can live every day, but if there is no conceptualization or comprehension of what's really going on or how you're really growing, the question really does become, what is it? What are you looking at? What are you using as a measurement? And I think that, again, you're talking about distinctions between people who struggle and people of means. There's just there's this chasm of difference, of a lack of understanding. People don't understand. The people that are in it don't understand. The people that are looking at it don't understand. That's kind of where we are.
And a life
people.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and a life, and who does a life with a long life without breath? Because I just looked it up. Breath is
not
necessarily.
It has to do with that's right.
Side to side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you're just going straight. You're not able to move out or see on the outside. But the question I'm asking is, who does a life like that serve?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Does it serve the people? Does it serve your future generation? Does it serve your children now? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, like you said, some people, sometimes we get so caught up in just living life. You know what I'm saying? One, I like helping people, but it's some selfish reasons too. One is I like running my mouth, and I got friends that like running their mouth, and we never had the traditional conversations that I was accustomed with. I have friends that like to talk about women, I have friends that like to talk about sports, but usually when I'm with these friends, that's not what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? We like to run our mouths about current events and ancient history and mystic systems and just crazy stuff like that. So I wanted to develop an area where I could talk about that type of stuff with. But the other selfish point, and it fits in, I feel it fits in with this is, I'm 40, I just turned 48. And many cultures, 48 is really an old dude. You know what I'm saying? In American culture, it's not that old, but in cultures where when we was just talking about some poverty, that's a pretty long life. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to live this long. But the one thing that I want to make sure that I'm able to do to bring some breath to my life is to leave a legacy for my kids. So when I'm doing my shows, what a lot of people don't understand is it don't matter whether one person, the 30 person, or 1,000 people listen to it. One day, one of my kids might need some wisdom, and they're going to be able to plug into the show, and I could be long dead, and they will be able to hear me commentate on something that might affect their life. So I'm not really doing the show just for today. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing the show just because there's a possibility that I can be paid. I'm doing the show because I'm leaving some ideas. I'm leaving some thoughts for my children and my children to come. Because as long as they're in computers, these shows will be up. So the words that Janice might speak in the next few minutes may be words that one of my children may need in the future. They're going to be able to pull it up, and you know what? They're going to get it for free. Right? Jonathan might drop something that might change somebody that's connected to me life. That might, after I pass away, might want to go into my stuff and be like, hey, he got 600 shows. I mean, people don't even understand this. I'm trying to leave some breath. I done had a long life. Matter of fact, according to the statistics, I done outlived at least 60% of black men.
Right.
So, you know, now it's about leaving some breath. You know what I'm saying? Some side-to-side movement. It's time. It's legacy building time. It's nation building time. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You good? You good?
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure. All right. So, hey, Jonathan, man, I'm not used to you being quiet, man. I'm kind of scared, man. You all right out there?
I'm just scared, man. I'm just listening, man. I'm just listening.
All right, cool. Well,
time to talk, Jonathan. Time to talk.
Okay, look. Well, I totally agree with what you're saying, Hakim. I totally agree with what you're saying, too. And one of the things that, you know, I was paying attention to is that I see a lot in my generation is that we take heed to the wrong things and we live. And we live for the wrong things because it's like nowadays it's like we got to have a certain thing, we got to have this, and the reason why I call my radio show Society's Truth is because I want to speak out on what society is all about. I know the truth because I know what society is all about. I know that they're trying to lock up young black men. I know that they're trying to, to do those things. But I was telling my brother the other day, I was telling him he saw a post. And he told me I was a lame because I feel that all lives matter. That's just my opinion. And one of the things that I ran across on my we kill our own race. And because we kill our own race, I feel like if a white cop kill an unarmed black teen, it's like he did us a favor. That's just one teen we don't need to kill. Because, it's a problem when the police kill us, but it's not a problem when a teen kill another black teen or if another grown black man kill a teen, And, if you look at it, we wipe our own race out, So it's just one body that we don't need to catch. And my brother, he totally got upset with me because I feel that way, and because That's just how I feel. I mean, the social media has us wrapped around our ears. We living for the wrong things. We putting money before everything, and we forgetting who the higher power is. We forgetting why we living and who we serve, and you know, and you can see that, you know, the United States is coming to a downfall. If you look at 2016, I'm in Chicago. I'm in Illinois, and Chicago already in 2016 has 102 homicides. That's not even for 2015. That's for this year.
You talking about?
And
between January 1st and today, which is March the 3rd, you saying there's already
March
100.
the 2nd. March the 2nd.
March the 2nd. There's 116 homicides in Chicago.
No, 102.
102.
Because 3 people just died, like got killed 2 days ago. So it's 102 now.
Man.
102.
Man, that just made me
right.
forget what I was
So let me say this. Chicago is an urban center that Detroit has historically and repeatedly tried to duplicate. It has not happened. However, Chicago, so let me say this. As a teacher in Detroit public schools, one of the things I say oftentimes is that those teachers in Chicago really need to watch the movie that has already played in Detroit, because it's their trailer for what's about to play out there.
Wow.
The problem with the teachers in Chicago is that they don't see how the same thing that happened to teachers in Detroit is about to happen to them, and the only reason why they don't see it is because numerically there's so many more of them than there currently are us. But what Chicago teachers don't understand is there used to be as many of us as there are of them. And so this quote that we're talking about tonight, as it relates to places like Detroit and Chicago, is incredibly apropos, because when you are part of a community that struggles, that is under attack from both within and outside, you really don't get a good gander of what's really going on, because there's too much going on.
Exactly.
And so,
Can't see the forest for the trees.
Huh?
Can't see the forest for the trees.
That's exactly right. And so what I'm saying is that while we're talking about different geographic areas, we're still talking about a group of people who are suffering in all kind of ways despite geography.
Right.
Black people in Chicago who don't have jobs, who lack education, who are victims of police and victims of those horrible people in their community, look just like the same group of people in Detroit, in Milwaukee, in all these places where you find you have urban communities. And so the question is, if healing has to come from within, we got a lot of work to do, because we're unified in a horrible experience, but the unification of the restoration of our spirits has got to take place in the same way.
Exactly, and I totally agree with you, because one of the things that I see a lot in my generation is that, you know, in order to be a savage, you got to have a gun. In order to be a savage, you have to catch a body, or to sell drugs, and to sag your pants. And to me, in reality, it's a dumb idea. I remember times in Chicago when we used to have block parties and we didn't have to have no shootout. Mm-hmm. But you can't have there's no such thing as having a block party. Mm-hmm. And even with that, I remember the candy lady. Candy lady used to always be able to knock on her door and get the candy. Candy lady don't even open her door now. She didn't even open up the door. So it's like, you know, and what I'm trying to do is, I know my generation is dumb. I know my generation is messed up, it's over with, it's completely washed up. But there are 25% in my age group. I'm not thinking it's going to be 20 years old in a couple of months, but I know there's 25% of us left that know something. That's 25% that's just like me. Mm-hmm. So, you know, once I find those 25%, I could be able to, you know, unify and to be able to to uplift and upbring the generation up underneath, because they're on the same path that we have already put the toll up. And I don't want my nieces and nephews to not know things. You know, I always teach my nieces and nephews. I'm in the finance business, and you know, I have my license, and you know, I'm working on getting my investment. I've always talked to my nieces and nephews about money. I try to help them understand the concept of money, and what I want to do eventually is have a camp, how to be entrepreneur, because you know, those are the things that they're not teaching within our community, because you got a guy like Donald Trump who's openly racist and who has no policy, and we got people voting for him. He has no policy. He don't have no policy. You support his idea of racism. And I don't think racism is the problem. I think the problem with the world and the universe is the second power. And when you have that greed for money, and I'm not saying the need for money, I'm talking about greed. When you have that greed, that's when because we all know that money talks. When money talks, that's when the power comes in. That's when the power kicks in. It's not about, and then that's when you feel I'm superior. I don't feel like I have to respect nobody else underneath me. That's the idea, because I know for a fact that racism is supposed to be seen as a good idea, but this thing is so negative. You know, and it's not, because seeing somebody better than me is supposed to be, look, well, you got something I got, I want to know how to get it. But it's not seen as that. It's seen as, well, you know, I hate you, or I don't like you, or it's a jealousy thing. And it's like, what we are living for the wrong thing. See, in the Bible, I read my Bible when I go to church almost every day, but almost every Sunday, and I go to Bible class and I read my Bible every day. But in the Bible, it talks about all these great civilizations that do the same thing that the U.S. is doing. And what happened? God had to tear it down to build it back up. So I don't know, and I don't know when it's happening. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's destined to happen, because we allow ourselves to be easily manipulated, especially within the black community. And one of the things we're always looking for a handout. You know, why we can't support black owned businesses? Why we gotta look for a discount? Why you can't, you know what I'm saying?
That goes back to the first proverb that we worked on. Do not despise a gift, no matter how small it is. I mean, it's hard for us. It's hard for you to support somebody else when you don't have gratitude for what you have.
That's right.
Second, the whole piece between what you and Sister Janice was talking about, the thing that we have to recognize is that is that life that is long. That is that life that's on that plane, that single plane. It don't have any breath to it. You know what I'm saying? Our children are being taught that money rules. That's the religion. That's what a lot of us don't get. That's why it's hard for your kids to hear you, because you're not talking about their God. They have been trained to believe that their God is money.
They got blue jeans called true religion. Hello?
True religion. And true religion, I found that the true religion environment was created for homosexuals. But they sag, and not only now I know what sagging originated from. So that's why I don't sag. That's why I have that mentality, not to sag, because I know where it started. And it wasn't a style. It was mainly because it was tight. Not because it was, you know what I'm saying? But I know, so not only that, I'm like, I mean, it's not going to stop them from wearing it, but I'm just saying it should stop you from sagging. That's the idea. That's the idea. I mean, it may not stop people from wearing it, but the fact of it is, and any idea in your mind, and if you understand what really sagging was about, that don't give you to the idea was say, let me put my pants up. Because if you really had met an OG from prison, you wouldn't want to sag no more.
Not only, and I'm just saying, man, that's that lean without the breath. We don't give our children the breath of life. See, the breath, not like but we don't give them the skills to harness or to even learn from the breath of life. You see what I'm saying? That's that philosophy. That's that discussion. That's that
Right.
teaching about those principles. That's when you get into the breadth of life, the wideness of life. We got them on that straight and narrow path, straight to hell, and if that's what you believe in. But it's like, boom, one is very clear, and it's almost like we're scared to talk about it. But the actual religion of of Western society, at least America, is the stock market, the economy, and the God is money. And you can see the displeasure of the God when the stocks go down, and you can see the pleasure of the God when the stocks go up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And our people are because we don't see the breadth of life. It's almost like we all are animals with blinders on. We can't look to the left or the right. We just got to look straight. And because we're looking straight, we're looking right past the gifts that we talked about a little bit earlier, Janice. We're looking right past we can't see the blessings. We can't see anything to be gracious for or to practice gratitude for. And it causes us to lash out. And who do you lash out against? You lash out against those that are closest to you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's close to me, I can lash out. Right? Because we see how gangster people are when the police come, especially black folks. That bothers me so much. We so gangster when it comes to each other. I mean, have y'all heard about the hair murders? I know y'all heard about the hair murders.
Hair murders?
Hair murders. Where you got individuals who set up businesses selling hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And our young people, I ain't gonna say young, our people will go in and murder our people about hair. Because they want to get the hair or they was dissatisfied with the hair. But yet these Chinese people have been setting up in our neighborhood, these Koreans have been setting up in our neighborhood selling hair, and how many Koreans have been murdered for selling somebody the wrong length of hair or selling them a hair that's too kinky? You know what I'm saying? We don't have it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we caught so much on the length of life.
Right.
We forget to live. And we forget that our job is to promote life. Because if you are on this planet, part of it is to cultivate life so that your species can continue. And I'm like, man, and it's almost like sometimes it's almost like black folks here are just satisfied with being a race. Because we want to fit in. I mean, the story last night even fits into this, man. It's crazy how all this stuff comes together. But I'm going to stop, and I'm going to move on to the last one. And this one is from the Bodhidharma, and it says, not engaging in ignorance is wisdom.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Not engaging in ignorance is wisdom.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, but
That you say that's from the Dalai Lama?
that's from it's something that he reads, but it's called the Bodhidharma. So I'm gonna look,
And that's true, and I believe that's inside truth, because if you look at today's society, and what we are involved around in is social media, and it's a lot of super stuff, a lot of stuff that we take heed into, especially Donald Trump, and it's like that is so true, because we allow ourselves to be into that ignorance, and then we want to tell somebody else, are they crazy or they ignorant because they know something, and because they don't take heed to it, you know. And I always post about religious, like I'm always talking about Jesus, and I'm always talking about, Black history, and I'm always talking. And they ask me why I always talk about God and Jesus and all those things, because that's what matters. If I pay more attention to Stephen Curry and how many points he averaged in the game, or and just stuff like that, why should I pay attention to stuff like that? Why? Because y'all paying attention to it, and we have learned to follow. We have learned to follow the followers instead of following the leader.
That's right.
We don't.
Follow
We
the
don't do
follower.
that no more. I want to find me some leaders to follow. It's not. There's nothing. See, I was raised to be a leader and not a follower. But sometimes when I got older, I realized there's nothing wrong with being a follower. It's who you follow is the issue. What you're following is the problem.
True leaders realize that sometimes you have to follow. Because if you look in the military, I mean, what the military teaches, better yet, even how we built our pyramids, there's always something up above you. Now, let me tell you who Bodhidharma is. Bodhidharma, I thought that name sounded familiar. This is the guy that came out of India and brought Buddhism to China as well as martial arts. This is the guy that brought Kung Fu to China. Because a lot of people don't know that, Kung Fu wasn't in China to somebody from outside of China brought it in. And a lot of people don't even want to admit that Bodhidharma more than likely was a Dravidian that was traveling and went in there. For those that don't know what a Dravidian is, look it up. It's somebody as dark as Brother Hatim with straight hair. He brought it in and he taught, and that's who all of the monks, I ain't gonna say all the monks, but that's who they revere as the founder of Buddhism, at least in China. Now, let me read some of his other quotes. It said, the ignorant mind, with its infinite afflictions, passions, and evil, is rooted in the three poisons: greed, anger, and delusion. The next one is, and as long as you are subject to birth and death, you'll never attain enlightenment. And the last one is the one that we're working on now, which is the simplest formula I have ever ran into for being wise. It's not complicated, and that tells me that it's true wisdom. Not engaging in ignorance is wisdom. When you see ignorance coming, you know what you're supposed to do, Sister Janice?
Run the other way?
Run the other way. That's why. You know what I'm saying? When you see ignorance coming, Brother Jonathan, what you supposed to do, bro?
Run the other way.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I learned by working in the school, that you don't use logic on a fool. It's a wasted thing. You know what I'm saying?
It makes you a fool.
It makes you a fool. You know what I'm saying? You don't argue with a fool. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it benefits you to walk away. As hard as it can be sometimes. Because somebody in full out fool mode, right? That believe that they are a savage. Oh, Sister Janice, this is why I need you. This is why we got to do a news show, baby. Listen, I'm telling you right now, we could retire off of this. Listen, do you know that one of the latest stories in the news is that African Americans, because I'm bringing this back around, that African Americans, according to the news, no longer want to be called African.
What?
Check my time. Go to Gye-Nyame Journey. Check the timeline. I got the article on there. Right now, the word is in the news, see, because this is why we need our own media outlets, because we got to be able to discuss and dissect this stuff. The whole piece is that they're saying that African American is so limited. It's African. Just using the term African is too limiting for the black experience. So now there is a segment of black people supposedly.
Wait a minute. If you're using the term African, how does that limit anything?
Listen.
How?
I'm just reporting the news. But this is the point that I'm saying. Not engaging in ignorance.
Don't call me African, Black American. I'm founded on your page. Okay,
Wait a minute. As a matter of fact, that might have been the name of the article. Don't call me
I'm
African.
looking at it. I'm on your page.
Oh.
Don't call me African. Black America's identity crisis.
Now, this is why I call the news show an empire of our own. You see what I'm saying? Because we got to have people on the front lines. Because they're no longer coming at us. The Klan is no longer burning crosses in our front yards. They're burning it in our mind right now. You know what I'm saying? This is that's an attack, right?
Yep.
Because the piece that I'm starting to figure out is that because I gotta go to my timeline because I put it a little bit better this morning because I was a little bit clearer this morning. Where I said is not they call it the politically correct way of they say it's politically correct. This is nothing but when you look at this is nothing but divide and conquer concept.
That's all. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know I ain't immersed in the community like I may have used to been. But I haven't heard this anywhere. But in the paper that put this shit out. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe there are some people that's talking about African, calling me African is too limiting. It's too confining for me. I'm beyond that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here like, good grief.
Yeah.
And then I think about this proverb right here. Thank you, Bodhidharma. You black Asian. Not engaging in ignorance is wisdom.
It's wisdom. Because they're so ignorant.
I just walk away. You know, because we do our commentary and just walk away. Because I'm not trying to, and I'm not trying to debate with people caught in their throes of ignorance. Because I got to wrestle out of my throes of ignorance. So by me learning how to retreat from ignorance rather than trying to confront it and change it, because my whole life has been about confronting ignorance. I'm going to take the guy who created Kung Fu's method, and now I'm going to start avoiding these ignorant motherfuckers.
Right.
I'm too old. And I want to be wise. And I want to live.
I gotta, and I agree with you because it's like I was telling my church what I wanted to do was because I know that Chicago is being influenced on these things and on not ignorance but having so much going on. I know that teenagers are suffering from a lot of different things, and I want us to be able to start session, just a rap session where they could talk, because I went through some of the similar things that is going on now that some other kids may have to go through. Right. A bunch of them may be going through, and being able to be open in the church. That's how you get youth back in the church. Just to be like open in the church, and just to say that, to talk about it, and to know that you had a guy like you that still in your age bracket, but not really there, but it's still there, and just to say that if you can overcome, and it's like, I was just like that, just always wanted to confront ignorance and stuff like that, but realizing that you can't confront ignorance because ignorance is just what it is. It's what it is, and you can't outsmart it. You can't try to beat it. You can't kind of conquer it. You sometimes you just gotta walk away because by trying to confront it, you're still engaging. By trying to confront it, it's still engaging.
And ignorance is backed up by passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which is the fuel, which makes it hard for you. I mean, that's why you can't conquer it. So you just have to go and let that passion diffuse, and hopefully if they survive, see, because we have got lost in the fact that a church was designed to worship God. Not God in the sky, but the God in man. You know, the God in each one of us, right? And the only way we could do that is by servicing humanity. And these temples, because this is why the Buddhist monks in China formed the Shaolin Temple, because they needed to develop places where they were able to escape from ignorance. If churches became places where young people can escape ignorance, but unfortunately, young people run into ignorance in the streets, and then they go to church on Sunday, and guess what they run into?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, ignorance doesn't mean stupid. Ignorance means that you ignore. The root of ignorance is ignore. I-G-N-O-R. Ignore. Ignorance doesn't mean that you don't know. Ignorance means that you ignore the truth.
Yep.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
That's what makes an ignorant motherfucker so dangerous. A stupid person, you have to worry, but an ignorant person, right? Because, like, for example, an ignorant person is somebody who will know that they're wrong, will know that the facts don't line up with what they're saying, will know that science have disproved everything they said, and still will say it. A stupid person don't know none of this, and they just speaking on what the ignorant person has put on them, and they talking about it. But as soon as you hit the stupid person with truth, they stop, and in all honesty, they look for a solution. An ignorant person will ignore. Matter of fact, it takes a lot of education to be an ignorant motherfucker. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of education to be an ignorant person.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to be ignorant, because think about this. In order to be ignorant, you have to know the truth.
Exactly.
And I know some of y'all out there don't want to hear that, right?
That truth hurt. The truth hurt.
Oh yeah.
And they don't want to hear the truth. Feed me what I want to hear. That's the problem. Because we want to be fed what we want to hear, and we want to be pleased instead of by telling me what I want to hear is keeping me happy, keeping the next person happy.
And see, that's what it's about. Go ahead, kick it.
Go ahead.
That's what that political correction. That's what. Excuse me, because I'm getting tired and I'm falling into my cussing mode. That's what this politically correct shit is all about. It's about us not telling the truth. It's about us not being honest. It's about us not being grateful. You know what I'm saying? It's about us ignoring our principles. That's what it's about. And it becomes dangerous, right? Because ignorant people have something to hide behind. That's why it's important for our temples of worship to become places where individuals like ourselves can hide from ignorance. Because right now, the ignorant have taken over the planet. They ignore the fact about global warming. They ignore the fact about racism. They ignore the facts about education. They ignore. It's like, you know what I'm saying? We ignore the fact. Look, because like, for example, just with education, we ignore the fact that our children are not really learning about life. They're learning how to take a test.
Ooh.
And we ignore the fact that our teachers are not teaching relevant material. They're not looking at where our children are coming from and providing them with information that is relevant to their life. Because they can't do that because they got to teach towards a test. It takes ignorance to ignore that. It takes a high level of educated ignorance to ignore that.
Exactly.
We got pastors, and excuse me, I know some of y'all don't want to hear, we got pastors who know the truth that are still teaching
ignorant.
ways of
Still teaching ignorance.
Still teaching ignorance. When Jesus himself, when you quote Jesus, when you look at Jesus said, if it is not, how can I put it? He said, if it is not good, chop it down and cast it into the fire. Judge a tree by its fruit. Black folks, you know what I'm saying? We need.
But you can't see the forest in the tree.
You can't see, but the issue is, we are surrounded by a bunch of dead trees. You know why? Because we want to be politically correct and we ain't chopping them motherfuckers down and putting them in the flame.
Exactly.
Because we want everybody to be confident. You know what I'm saying? We can't be honest with, it bothers me that I can't be honest with parents to be like, your child is having problems in class because they can't read. That's incorrect to tell them that truth. Your child is acting up because your child's behavior is horrible in class because they can't read and can't keep up with the material, and they have been passed from grade to grade, and now I got to be the bad guy and tell you the truth. Your child is not dumb. Your child is not slow. Your child has just been passed on because it was politically correct to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many other truths have we been hiding in ignorance? I love both of y'all. I want to thank y'all for coming in, and for the first time, right, I done had a show where I don't have to go back in and record. I got the equipment where the very conversation we are having right now with the energy and both of y'all wisdom is going to be poured on to those people that's listening. And I hope that those people that are listening are wise enough to hear the wisdom that's flowing from y'all and to come and like your page and to come to follow you on Spreaker. Brother Jonathan have a podcast called Society's Truth. Tell them a little bit about your podcast, bruh.
I got a podcast. I'm located in Illinois. I also got my own clothing brand, and the first release design was Society's Truth. And I keep it simple, keep it nothing but real and trill, and keep y'all up to date on the news, similar to how Tim. So if you want to know the truth, and you want to hear somebody to keep it real and 100, tune in to Society's Truth. I will be back up and running and loaded on March 27th. So we're gonna be
give a web address. Give the address.
Said what?
Give your address.
Okay.
The website address.
You got a website,
the website
or blog?
Yes.
I told you start your blog, Jonathan, or something.
Okay.
We gonna talk.
Jonathan, what's the website and the blog? State it.
The station. I don't know. I gotta go back.
All right, cool. I will put up the link to Jonathan's piece, which I have put up before, but it's Society Truth. It's Spreaker.com. I'm gonna post it now. Next to the mic, coming to the stage. Sister Janice, please let them know about your Facebook page, please. And some of the other projects you're working on.
Janice Rowley, Janice Rowley, Rowley. You can see my blog at The Annihilation of Public Education, blogspot.com. All I'm interested in is helping folks to understand that we need to elevate our thinking. Our young people need us to elevate our thinking. The community needs us to elevate our thinking. The nation needs to elevate our thinking. We cannot rely any longer on journalists. We cannot rely any longer on those we say are leaders, because this entire piece has been flipped on its head, and many of us are still operating as if it hasn't been flipped. It's been flipped. We're on a whole nother paradigm, and folks need to really understand what's going on. We are straight up in the midst of winners and losers, and other people are defining what that means. And so the question is, where do you stand? Who are you? And what are you prepared to do?
All right. So, Sister Jones, don't hang up yet, because we're about to shut this down, because I want to talk with you about your website real quick. Brother Jonathan, you can hang on the line if you want to, too. But, hey, all those is out there. You know, you missed the opportunity to come on and possibly ask questions and change the world, because now, with this line, I am able to get over 100 people up on here. All y'all ain't going to talk at the same damn time. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if you need to talk to the teacher, or you need to talk to Society's Truth, or you need to talk with the brother from Gye-Nyame Journey, we are here, right? And I want
absolutely.
I want y'all to talk to us while it's free. Because I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening in the universe, and it's happening in a way that a lot of y'all don't even understand. I keep telling y'all that within the next 2 years, there will be another 2 billion people on the internet, and they're going to be looking for stuff.
Right. That's right.
And they might come with a few pennies, but they might take those pennies and be willing to donate those pennies to organizations and to people like the ones that you're hearing today. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to keep it as real with you as I can. Work with me while it's free, right? Because eventually you won't have to pay. But it's all cool. But yo, I'm on. Y'all hang on, because I want to talk with y'all about the sites and stuff. But those of you that's listening on Spreaker, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. There's a horrible lag. Wait, here it comes. Wait for it. There you go. All right. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Wait for it. There you go. We strive to blow up your old paradigm. Here it comes. There you go.
Mr. Deity,